Today I'll be showing you the particular inheritance, yes. And you see here that inheritance for ISC 2022-23. So those who are will be appearing in the coming year, that is 2023, I made it in such a manner over here, the inheritance chapter, that it will be easier for you. I have request from class 12 students that, sir, please, if you please elaborately explain inheritance, it will be much more easier for us. So for that reason, I'm doing this particular work on the video tutorial for them. And you see, first of all, when you are doing a chapter, you must be knowing what is the chapter about. So first of all, what is inheritance? That is very important. So you can see very well in my screen, inheritance is an important pillar of OOP, that is object-oriented programming. And you see that there are many pillars of OOP, and among them inheritance is one. So you know what is the importance of this particular option, or what is the very important importance of the pillar of inheritance. There is a pillar of OOPs, and the pillar is inheritance. It is a mechanism in Java by which one class is allowed to inherit the features or fields and methods of another class. So the sample example I've given in front is class A, where you have the instance variables, the members or the methods, where you can declare that, and in the right side you'll find class B, which extends A, instance variables, member methods. So there class B extends A, the class that the word extends will help you to make a subclass B, and the parent class is A. So we must be knowing what is the parent class or the superclass. For that reason I have given a small note on the important terminology, that is the superclass. So you must be knowing the superclass over here, the class whose features are inherited is known as the superclass. From there the features are inherited. The class whose features are inherited is known as the superclass, or it can also be called as a base class or a parent class. Now coming to the subclass, as I told that if A is the superclass, then B is a subclass, and your extend clause helps us to bring the particular content of the variables, instance variables or members to the class B. Now this class B is a subclass. So what is actually a subclass? The class that inherits the other class is known as a subclass or a derived class. Extend class or a child class. So this can also be told as an extended class or a child class. The subclass can add its own fields as well. It can take the fields from the superclass and methods in addition to the superclass fields and methods. Now see, whenever you are doing inheritance, one point you should clear that why you are doing it. The only reason is that reusability. So inheritance supports the concept of reusability. What is it? That is, when we want to create a new class and there is already a class that includes some of the code that we want, we can derive our own new class from the existing class. By doing this, we are reusing the fields and methods of the existing class. Now, if we go to find out, so this is a need, why we need the need for inheritance, so you will definitely get the main target will be reusability. See, over here, the base class simply defines the common functionalities to be used by other classes. So you are using. It can be used with other classes. Base class A, derivative class B, derivative class C can be reusable, and the main method or main class using the main method inherits another class by default. So that is the main logic. So base class from base class, you can derive a subclass. Now, the base class simply defines the common functionality to be used by other classes. Once a base class is completed and a machine class is generated, we don't need to compile it again at the time of accessing it into the derived class. The machine code of the base class used by a derived class can be used by another derived class for common operations. So this is the feature that is termed as reusability. So let us tell reusability features of inheritance provides the following benefits. Number one is that it allows users to model real-world relationships. If any chance is made in the base class, it is carried to all the derived classes. It can be let X, Y, and Z are three classes, such that the Y and Z inherits from the X. Then any change brought in class X will be reflected, yes, to the classes Y and Z. Inheritance shows the transit nature. It means if a son derives from the father, and if the father gains features from the grandfather, then the son will implicitly gain the capabilities of using the features from the grandfather. So this is how you know, and how now we must be knowing how you use the inheritance in Java. So how to use the inheritance in Java? Classes are linked to inherit properties from one or each other with the help of the keyword extends. I always told that. So syntax is the class, the derived class, the extend clause, and the base class, and the methods are there to bring. Visibility mode, there are various visibility mode, but private class B extend X is not allowed, protected class B extended class not allowed, public class B extended class A allowed, because if you make it public, then only the other classes can achieve it by using the concept of inheritance. So Java does not use private and protected types of inheritance. It means Java does not allow the change of the protection level of the superclass members in the derived class. Hence, the access specifier of the derived class is always public by default, yes, and it's public. This shows that the public and the protected members of the superclass will always be accessed in the derived class as public members. So now, our default visibility, a derived class declared without any specifier is public by default. Using the only public mode of inheritance in Java makes the code of the base class is easily accessible in the derived class and allows a user-friendly manipulation of the program logic. Changing the access specified to protect and private would make the derived class more OOP-specific and cause inconvenience to users to handle the inherited members. So there will be difficulty. So if it's not public, so you can't access it. So private members of the base class. So a class member declared private can never be used. The class visibility, even if the class has been inherited to another class. Hence, the private member data or method of the base classes are not directly accessible in the derived class. So in a worst logical situation where you need to access private members of the base class, so you find that hence the private members of the data members of the base class are not directly accessible in the derived class. In the worst logical situation, when you need to access private members of the base class under emergency, it can be done by using the getter and setter. So what is the getter method we have over here? We can use get and set. So it is a member method that is used to return the value of the private members of the base class in the derived class. The method getter is used in the base class, but it returns a value when it is invoked in the derived class. Setter is also a method that is used to feed the value to the function in the base class. The need of using a setter arises when the value of the private instance of the base class is to be provided through the object of the derived class. So accessing base class members, you can see over here, private is there, set A is there, setter is a setter, and this is a getter. So you note over here, using the private members, the base class through the getter. So you need the getter. So here we initiated over here, extend clause is there, and this is the setter, and this is the getter. So this up to here we will be doing it. So lastly, I should tell that a class member without any specifier is by default public, and it would be interesting to know how the members of the base class used with the different specifiers are made accessible to derived class or the subclass, and that I will be giving in my next video. So hope everyone is clear up to here, and you can take down the notes from here if you want. So this will be an added benefit for you.